great, and
Yes.
to do it with 10 weeks of education up
Right,
there,
right,
you know,
exactly.
it's crazy.
It is crazy, and to have like such a healthy launch into a career at a young age is really exciting for us as well as for his family.
Yeah.
So.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Homology Podcast, a weekly conversation with your HVAC team here at Vertex Mechanical. We're glad you've taken a few moments as part of your day to laugh with us, maybe learn something new, and be inspired.
Yeah.
So, well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Homology Podcast. I'm Josh V, and today we have a very special guest with us. This is none other than the Mr. Lyndon Engel from the Cocalico School District. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And
Thank you.
Yep.
This year, Lyndon, we've been connecting with local businesses and organizations to talk about what makes Northern Lancaster County so special, and every time we end up talking about relationships and the value of them. And I'm just so grateful for the relationship that we've had with the Cocalico School District, and specifically with you. We only connected barely a year ago, perhaps.
Yep.
And you brought this idea of, hey, let's we're doing internships with the school, and I'm like, I don't know. We're a pretty little organization here. But you asked about it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we do, just share with those that are participating today, like, who you are and what you do at Cocalico, because you wear a bunch of hats, don't you?
I definitely do. And I've a long-term member. I've been in the community since 1993. I actually moved to Reamstown to take a job at Garden Spot High School. And I lived in the community for that year I was at Garden Spot, and at the end of the year, actually found out about an opportunity to come join Cocalico in a similar position. So I started here in the fall of '94, and I've been in the community ever since. And it's my 29th year of teaching at Cocalico.
Wow, that's amazing!
Yeah,
congratulations.
And when you're there that long, you really come to appreciate to get up every day and go to a job that you like, and to work in an organization that you feel appreciates you as a person and as an educator, and been a very good bond between myself and being a teacher and other roles in the district.
It's pretty obvious that the Cocalico district as a whole has a really deeply rooted investiture, as well as partnership with the community members. You see it at every meeting I go to, every parents gathering, or every sporting event. Man, the community is just abuzz about the school district.
Well, I think I'm a sports nut, and you think it always starts at the top down, and everybody's got to be on the same page. And we're fortunate to live in an area that a lot of the key components of the community and the school are on the same page.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I have to give a shout out. I'm a huge fan of the school board president, Kevin Eshelman, and I know that everyone from him to Dr. Musser and the faculty are so committed to serving together, serving the student body. And anytime I talk with those individuals, it just kind of oozes out of them a love and an affection for the students and seeing them succeed.
Yeah, I think you mentioned our current president, and I think Kevin would probably be the first one to tell you that he learned that from past members of the board, and that started a long time ago and has continued with some key board members that keep that going into the next years.
But what I appreciate about the district and someone like yourself is this is not something that you have to manufacture some core value of, well, we want to appreciate students and see them succeed. That's why I use the phrase, it oozes from you guys everywhere you go. When I talk to you, so centered around the individuals, that's got to take a lot of emotional energy and a lot of focus to give yourself like that year after year.
Well, we have a slogan, every chance, every child, every day. And I think we live by that. And another buzzword, I think in education is individualized learning. So the days of just having a class and everybody's doing the exact same thing every day, I don't think that exists as much anymore in any school or any educational setting. And Cocalico's included in that. My classrooms are included in that, and so these internships are included in all that. So
when you came to me and you said Cocalico does these internships, and we look for local businesses to support that, my initial response was, I don't know what we necessarily have to offer. We're just a small business, and there's others that are certainly larger or maybe more capable. But you were advocating, no, I think I have somebody.
Yeah.
Which meant that you had already been processing an individual's potential and their potential career path.
Yeah.
And I was kind of marveled at that. And then you brought an individual, and we're happy to say that we actually had 2 interns last year, which was Alex Kreider and then Riley Yunt. And Alex is going to be a full-time member of this team.
Yeah.
After he graduates. So will Riley. She'll be a full-time member of our team here. I can't thank you enough
and the feeling's mutual here.
For making that opportunity and for building it into their educational experience. So talk a little bit about how the internships got developed and why you're even passionate about it.
Well, I think the first year we had it was the school year 2017-18. So the previous school year is when the planning started to come about for that. A good friend of mine, Dan Sakanik, had a similar role with the Wilson School District.
Okay.
And so I used him as a resource.
Yeah.
And we tried to get that started. We had, I think the first year, we had 18 to 20 kids. And, basically my job within the internship, and the job that I really enjoy the most, is a kid coming to me and saying, here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Can you help me find a setting that I can, take this interest or this passion and develop it? So a case like we had here at Vertex, we had Alex Kreider come and, he had an interest in, HVAC. I'm like, well, we've got some opportunities there.
Right.
We just gotta connect the people, and that's what we did with you guys, and that turned out to be a huge success for our program, for Alex, and I think from your end too.
That's right.
So
yeah, absolutely. And really excited that there's now already in the wings interns for next year.
Yes.
And what once felt like, I don't know how we're going to facilitate this or what we're going to do with them. Now there's actually an energy and an excitement amongst the entire staff here of getting to help be a part of the developmental process of these students, because we're just one part of that collective community. And I know there's a lot of other businesses that are a part of this as well, right?
Right, and then I think the unique thing is here, we're working with a kid that, he's going to work for you guys, in a short amount of time.
That's
There's other opportunities for kids that maybe the employment is not as immediate. They might need some more education, but they're getting a little piece of their career. For example, being a police officer. Most 18-year-olds aren't going to be ready to get a uniform and go out there and patrol the streets but they're getting a piece for that profession, and they can maybe pursue that when they're ready for it.
And if Alex would have come away from this internship saying, it was a great experience and I've decided it's not the right fit for me, that would have been a win as well.
And we've had situations like that, where a kid does the internship and I'll talk to them, or they'll do a little end of the semester project based on it, and their conclusion is, that's not for me.
That's not it.
Well, you know what? That's a win too, because you could have possibly invested another couple 4 years pursuing that before you knew it wasn't for you.
Precisely. So, and I love that that's a reality that can be experienced, and it's a win-win when that comes
absolutely.
to Yep. So for parents that might be watching or participating in this to some degree, we want to make sure that you're aware of this program and how it exists within the community, because it is brilliant. It's such a gift. Now, I would assume that parents have some questions maybe even about this when they start it. What are maybe just some of the more often asked questions from parents about internships?
Well, I think one of the main thing is a scheduling thing. It's part of it's basically the internship is part of their curriculum at school. Usually, for the most part, I would say it represents one of their 4 classes that they would have during the day. The most often time slot would be our last period of the day, where a kid would come into Cocalico, take 3 classes, and then instead of sitting in a classroom for their 4th day, they would leave the school and then would go to their internship. And a lot of times, they don't have to return to the school. That's their thing for the rest of the day. I've had other students where it's the first thing of the day, just because it worked out for the business and the person, and they would go in there early, and then they would get to school a little bit late. So, our seniors are very flexible. They're not traditionally, the seniors are not taking 4 classes for the most part. There's only a small percentage of those kids that do. So they might be taking college credits. They might be doing an internship. There's a lot of things that they can be doing, all learning opportunities for them, and this is part of it.
So maybe you're hearing this for the first time, or maybe you've been processing this, with your family. What would be a first step to take if people are processing this for their kids, or even they are hearing about it for their grandkids? Yeah. What would they do to initiate a discussion with the school district about this?
Well, I think it really starts their junior year
Okay.
when scheduling starts to take place for their senior year.
Sure.
And they are, that's one of the course options that they have.
Yeah.
They would talk to their counselor about it. They, for the most part, the counselor, if they don't know, would tell them, hey, Mr. Engel's in charge of that. If you have this, this desire or this interest, get in touch with me. Yeah. They'll come see me. They might message me on Schoology.
Right.
But somehow that communication, and sometimes they have it already set up. I have this business. I already talked to somebody,
Sure.
and that's easy work for me.
That is sweet.
The other part of it, and again, the part that I enjoy is having a kid say, "Hey, I have an interest.
Yes.
How can you help me?"
Yeah.
And then it's my,
Absolutely.
I'm basically a facilitator of trying to get them together with the right experience.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you again for helping to facilitate that, and thank you for the investment that you've been making for, you said 29 years at Cocalico?
This is my 29th at Cocalico, yes.
So next year will be the 30th?
Next year will be the 30th.
We'll have you back for cake and balloons and that type of celebration, which is very exciting. Now, you mentioned that you're a sports nut.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite sport?
Soccer has been my bread and butter.
Has it? Okay.
As a player, and I've coached that the most, but I've been with track and field at Cocalico, and I participated in that in high school, and it just is it's a different feel, but something that I really enjoy.
Sure.
I've dabbled my feet in basketball a little bit, but I found that I think I'm probably more of a fan of basketball than a coach of basketball. That's tough to get into as late as I got into it, but I enjoyed it. Well,
I appreciate that. My son Levi did track with you for the first time, and he had you as one of his coaches. And the other week he comes back, hey, Coach Engel, he said I should try the high jump. And I'm like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. And it was just another perfect example of how you are consistently pushing the students to consider something else, to consider a next thing. And I thought, that's a great idea. Here's this tall, skinny kid that needs to just try
and Levi happened to just be fooling around at the high jump pit one day when I saw him, and I'm like, hey, Levi, this might not be a bad idea for you. I
love it. Well, thank you for doing that. One of the things that we're just doing for fun right now, of course, I mentioned to you that we have a baseball game that we sponsor every year, and along with that, we're giving out tickets, and we're also giving out a bunch of these Cocalico Eagles hats for everyone. So I brought one up here to give to you, and we're giving them away to just anybody. There we go. Brilliant. We love our Cocalico School District, and so anyway, if you're watching this and you happen to stop by for tickets as well here in the end of May, these are available for you as well. So go Eagles. Thank you, Mr. Engel, for being a part of our podcast today. Thank you for all you do in the Cocalico School District. And, really an honor to be in partnership with you.
Well, thank you. It's definitely a mutual feeling, and I'm very excited to be partnered up with Vertex, and it looks like we're going to be doing it again next year.
We are, and hopefully for many years to come. And even when you are wrapped up at Cocalico, hopefully we'll still be participating all the more. So thanks for joining us again this week on the Homology Podcast. Hope you have a great week, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
All right.
Hey, thanks again for joining us today. As always, we hope you enjoyed your time with us, and you'll return again next week. And if you need to get hold of us, just visit vertex-mechanical.com to call or email.